Hey there everyone, what if I told you you can get inside your subconscious mind and remove your SP block and attract your SP in less than few minutes? Now what I'm about to share with you in this training program is really powerful stuff. This is my research in understanding the power of our subconscious mind and the hidden laws of subconscious magic, and I'm going to explain each and everything to you. So if you stick till the end, you will know exactly this method, and this is one of the most powerful method. This is the foundational block of my 15 days instant healing program. Now, even though what I'm about to share with you guys is really advanced hypnotherapy techniques, this is still a beginner's guide. Trust me, it goes in way deeper. So let's understand what we are going to cover in this training program. So we are going to understand the subconscious proprioceptive grid, modalities of subconscious proprioceptive grid, accessing proprioceptive grid, taking control of your proprioceptive grid, two types of SP blocks on the grid, accessing the SP block, removing the SP block, and lastly, an action plan and strategy to attract your SP. Now, before we begin, I want to make it really clear to you guys, whatever research I'm going to mention in this particular training program, the links to that research is in the description, so you can check it out and understand yourself. Now, let's begin with section 1, which is subconscious proprioceptive grid. This is the foundation of understanding how your subconscious mind works, and this is really powerful. You see, research by neuroscientists has consistently shown that approximately 95% of our cognitive activity occurs subconsciously. Central to this profound subconscious influence is a system known as the proprioceptive grid, a sophisticated internal interface that organizes and maintains subconscious data through a holographic arrangement. Understanding this grid is critical as it determines how subconscious information is relayed to our conscious mind, impacting everything from emotional response to decision making. Now, as you can see in this diagram, this is your proprioceptive grid. It's like a grid which is in 360 degree and it is all around your body. This is your subconscious mind's interface. So let's understand this. The foundation of subconscious proprioceptive grid. The subconscious mind possesses an internal user interface termed the proprioceptive grid. The grid acts as a holographic system holding and organizing subconscious data through images. Now, what do we mean by that? If you observe, this proprioceptive grid is like a holographic grid all around us. And if you have seen Iron Man, and you might have observed how he is playing with his holographic technology, and he can just pick up stuff and he can just throw it around, he can remove something, he can alter anything. That entire idea is generated from our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind actually works like that. And the way our subconscious mind works is each and every form of data or information is stored inside our subconscious mind in form of images. Now, this is central to all of the foundational block that we are going to understand. So understand each and every form of information, whether it is your belief, whether it is your trauma, whether it is your attracting pattern, whether it is your thoughts, each and everything is stored inside your subconscious mind in form of different images. And these images is something that your subconscious mind access to gather information on your subconscious proprioceptive grid. Every image on the grid corresponds to a specific neurological state. Example, memories. A great example is, if I ask you to think of a time in your life when you were really excited, and I just want you to think of a particular memory. Now, whatever memory comes into your mind, or whatever memory you recall in your subconscious mind, you will observe that the first thing that comes to your conscious attention is an image or a screenshot of that particular moment. And then as you focus on that image, the video starts playing. So that means the first thing that your subconscious mind recalls is an image. An image is how your subconscious mind even stores all your memories. The subconscious uses the grid to relay feelings or neurological state to the conscious mind at any given moment. Now, once again, I want you to think of that particular moment when you were really excited. Now, as you access this particular image, here is something really incredible that is going to happen. The more you think about this excited memory that is in your subconscious mind, it is being played in your subconscious mind. If you observe, it is also going to change the feelings that you are feeling inside your body right now. So the neurological state that you felt within that particular moment will also come back. And what does that tell us about our subconscious mind? That tells us that all the feelings and neurological state that we felt within any particular moment is stored inside our subconscious mind in form of images. And if we recall an image, we can also bring back the feeling that we felt in that moment. And this is extremely important point. I want you guys to understand this. I'll give you an example to understand this. Have you ever observed that you are talking about someone that you really hate, and suddenly as you are talking about someone that you really hate, you start becoming angry and you start feeling that anger inside of you? What's actually happening over there? Now, if you observe closely, the moment your subconscious mind accesses the image of the particular person or a memory of a particular person that you really hate or an event that you really hate, the neurological state that you felt within that particular moment also comes back. Your subconscious mind also brings back that feeling, and that is the reason you feel all that anger and frustration in your current moment, even though nothing is happening in your external reality. That shows us that recalling any kind of memory will also bring back the neurological state that we felt within that particular moment. Now let's move on to the modalities of subconscious proprioceptive grid. Now we need to understand how does this proprioceptive grid actually works. What are the modalities of this proprioceptive grid so that we can understand what can we do with it, what kind of features does it have, and how can we control it. So let's understand that. Recent studies indicate that the subconscious mind processes visual information 60,000 times faster than textual information, emphasizing the profound role of imagery in influencing neurological response. Within subconscious proprioceptive grid, specific modalities significantly govern the power of these subconscious images. As we were talking about, the moment you recall a particular memory, the feeling also comes back. So that means within that particular image is also the neurological state that is being stored. Understanding these modalities enhances our ability to decode and manage the intricate relationships between visual positioning, image intensity, and emotional influence. Now we are going to understand what are these modalities, and I will explain to you how to play with these modalities. Now let's start with the first modality, which is accessible and inaccessible neurological state. Images directly in front have a significant influence and accessibility. Images behind have minimal or no influence. So let's understand this. I want you to observe this diagram. Now, if you see anything that is in front of you, will be something that you can see and you can visualize and you can feel. Exactly the way when I asked you to think of a moment when you felt the most excited, that visual image of that particular memory came in front of you. It wasn't behind you. Even if you close your eyes and I ask you to think of a particular time in your life when you felt really excited about something, the memory is right in front of your eyes. It is in front of you. It is not behind you. It is in front of you is the reason that this particular memory has a neurological state that is influencing you. Now let's test this out. So I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to recall a particular moment in your life when you were the most happiest person, you were really excited. Think of a memory. Whichever memory comes into your mind, You will observe that the first thing that comes to your mind is an image. Now, whatever this image is, whatever this memory is, it will start playing right in front of you, and you will start recalling what you felt within that particular moment. Observe the feeling inside your body. Now, as you observe the feelings inside your body, I want you to visualize something for me. I want you to visualize that this memory that is right in front of you, this particular image, is sliding backwards. And I want you to slide it completely backwards and observe the feeling. And you are going to observe that the feeling will just go away or it will fade out because it is no longer in front of you. But I want you to feel this feeling. So how about you bring it back right in front of you and once again observe this particular memory. And observe the feelings will come back. This explains us something really important. Now you can open your eyes. You see, now this explains us on this subconscious proprioceptive grid, anything or any kind of information or images that are relayed right in front of us has influence on us. Anything that is behind us has no influence on us. So this is the first modality. Now the second modality is size matters. So what do we mean by size matters? Larger images generate stronger neurological states. Smaller images exert weaker neurological state. So how about we try this out? Once again, close your eyes and recall that particular memory where you felt really excited. And here's something I want you to do. I want you to first visualize that this particular image that is right in front of you, it is shrinking. And it is becoming small and small and small and small until it becomes a size of a sand grain or an atom. And observe the feeling inside your body. Is the feeling stronger or is the feeling weaker? And you're going to observe that the feeling becomes weaker as the image becomes smaller. So here is something I want you to try. I want you to observe that the image is growing into the IMAX screen. Think of it like an IMAX screen right in front of you, and this memory is playing on that IMAX screen. And observe the feelings inside your body. And you will observe that the feeling is getting stronger and stronger. Open your eyes. Now, what do we understand by this modality? Now, this modality tells us that any form of image that is being relayed on this proprioceptive grid will have influence on us, and the size of that image will determine the sort of neurological state that it will create inside our body. This is something to understand, and we will be making use of this further in this training. Number 3 is spatial positioning. Position matters. Now, what do we mean by that? Location of images on the grid determines the power of their neurological impact. Now, before I explain this, how about we try it out? Once again, close your eyes and recall that particular moment once again. Now, here's something I want you to observe. As you are feeling the neurological state, that feeling that you felt within this particular moment, I want you to observe and visualize that this particular memory is moving further away from you. And observe the feeling inside your body. Is it getting weaker or is it getting stronger? How does it make you feel? Now, whatever it is, because spatial positioning is very different for every person, it is different. Some people feel like when it's moving further, it becomes stronger. For some people, when it's moving further, it's becoming weaker. Whatever it is, now you need to identify where is the strongest position of this image. So bring it closer and observe, does the feeling amplify? Now, if this feeling is amplifying over here, let's keep it over here. Now, let's try something else. I want you to move this image a bit on the top and observe the feeling. Is it stronger or is it weaker? Now, as you feel and as you observe, how about you bring this image a bit down so that it is below your eye level. and observe, is the feeling strong or is it weak? Now, wherever you felt it was strong, I want you to bring this particular image on that position, be it at the top, at the bottom, further away from you, or closer from you. Wherever you feel like it is the strongest, I want you to place it over there and make this feeling stronger. Now, once again, open your eyes. Now, what did we learn from spatial positioning? That means the position and the location of a particular image on this grid also creates different intensity. Now we need to understand these three modalities of our proprioceptive grid, and this is going to come in really handy. So make a note of all of these three modalities and understand how your subconscious mind relays this information on your proprioceptive grid and what are the modalities of your proprioceptive grid, because we are going to be playing with these a lot now. Now let's move on to section 3, which is accessing proprioceptive grid. So let's understand how can we access this proprioceptive grid. A groundbreaking psychological study revealed that humans are involuntarily influenced by external stimuli approximately 85% of the time, resulting in subconscious responses and emotional states triggered without conscious control. What do we mean by that? Let's suppose your boyfriend or your girlfriend brings in a gift for you. Now, if you see, the external stimuli is going to create the neurological state, and we all are living in a reality where we are so dependent on our external reality to generate that neurological state. So that means we need to understand a lot of our behavior and a lot of our neurological state is not in our control until we become self-aware. People who are not self-aware are 85% operating on the basis of their external reality, and that's something that we are going to change now. Now, conversely, intentional or voluntarily subconscious access facilitated by deliberate thoughts and focus significantly enhances emotional regulation, decision making, and personal effectiveness. Mastering both voluntary and involuntary methods of accessing the proprioceptive grid is pivotal for effective emotional and psychological management. So let's understand what are these two kinds of access and how can we make use of this. First of all, before we can even dive into understanding voluntary and involuntary access, we need to first of all understand the cause and effect modality. Now, what is cause and effect modality? Your neurological state is either the cause of your external reality influencing your subconscious mind, exactly the example I was giving you, such as if your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your specific person brought you a gift. That means reality is the cause, your neurological state is effect. That means something happens in your external reality and your subconscious mind generates a neurological state as an effect. So this means reality is the cause and what you're feeling inside is the effect. Or your subconscious mind is influencing your external reality by influencing your neurological state. Now, a great example is, one of those moments when you recall something really funny and you share with your friends and everyone starts laughing and everyone starts having a good time, and you double down on that, you share some funny stories and everyone is having a good time. So what just happened? What really happened is your neurological state is the cause because you recalled something funny and you started sharing it. Your reality is the effect. So whatever you are feeling inside is something that people in your external reality are also feeling it. So now your reality is the effect and you are the cause. Now we need to understand in both these scenarios. Scenario number one is 85% of the people, because we all are dependent on our external reality rather than depending on our internal reality. And that's a very deep concept and we are going to dive deep into that. Now that you understand what cause and effect modality is, let's understand what is involuntary access. External stimuli, that is the cause, triggers subconscious response, which is the effect, bringing corresponding images onto grid involuntarily. Example, answering what's your favorite movie? Now, if I ask you what is your favorite movie, as soon as my words enter your subconscious mind and you start filtering out what is my favorite movie, now whatever you come up with, that is involuntary access. And as you focus on that particular image of that particular memory and you recall what happens in that memory and the sort of neurological state that you felt when you were watching that memory will come back to you. So that means this is an involuntary access. Someone else in your reality influenced your subconscious mind to bring up a particular memory, an information, data, or neurological state, and because of that, your neurological state is the effect of your reality. Over here, we also need to understand a lot of the bad feelings that we are feeling is because we allow our reality is the cause, and we become the byproduct of our reality. We are on the effect end of the equation, and we need to take control of that, and we are going to learn that in voluntary access. Now, in voluntary access, conscious intent becomes the cause, deliberately brings forth specific images and associated neurological state, which is the effect. An example is recalling a childhood hobby to access related joyful neurological states intentionally. So let's try this out. I want you to think of a time in your childhood when you enjoyed doing something. What was that fun activity that you really loved doing? Now, if you want to visualize it, just close your eyes and I want you to think of a time in your childhood when you loved doing something. What was your favorite fun time? And observe what memory comes to your mind. Now, whatever memory comes to your mind, it's going to come in front of you on this proprioceptive grid in form of an image. Now, as you focus on this image, the video starts playing. The screenshot of that particular memory now starts replaying the memory in video format. Now observe this particular moment and recall that particular moment. And observe how you felt within that particular moment. And as you observe, you're going to realize you can feel what you felt within that particular moment. So get this feeling, absorb all of this feeling. And I want you to feel this feeling even more. Make this image bigger. As big as you want to make it. Bring it as close as you want to bring it. Feel this particular moment. And as you feel this particular moment, the energy intensifies. Now, open your eyes. Now, what just happened is we did a voluntary access. Our conscious intent was to recall a particular neurological state. You consciously thought of a particular memory which was happy, which was joyful. And as that memory came into your mind, you also started feeling the neurological state or the feeling that you felt within this particular memory. So that means this is now voluntary access. So we need to understand a lot of our neurological state is due to involuntary access. That means our reality determines what we feel inside, and that is where a lot of the people get stuck in their life. I mean, be it in relationship, be it in any kind of situation, everyone is focused on their reality to generate that happy or good neurological state inside their subconscious mind, while we all have the power of voluntary access. And how can we use voluntary access? Because in this particular training, we are going to focus on voluntary access and how can we play with that. Now, in section 4, we are getting to the point where we want to understand taking control of proprioceptive grid. Now we are trying to understand how can we take control of our proprioceptive grid and our entire reality changes. This stuff is really magical now. And a lot of the stuff that I'm about to teach you, I actually learned from a lot of different occult practitioner books and research. So I have compiled it all together. I'm trying to make it as simple as I can so you can understand it. So let's understand. Psychological research demonstrates that our subconscious mind cannot distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real events, leading to psychological responses indistinguishable from reality, exactly like involuntary and voluntary access. If you observe, when we voluntarily recalled a particular memory, our subconscious mind couldn't tell if this particular moment is something from your past or it is your current reality. Regardless, it generated the neurological state. This phenomena underpins modern hypnotherapy practices where visualization techniques significantly alter subconscious patterns and neurological states. Learning how to effectively harness this innate trait allows profound control over subconscious programming. So we are diving deep towards understanding how can we alter our subconscious programming and change our reality forever. In order to take control of our proprioceptive grid, there are certain rules and we need to understand these rules. And I also want you to focus on the image. It's going to help you visualize. Now, rules of taking control are: the subconscious mind cannot differentiate reality from imagination. That means our subconscious mind cannot tell what is reality or what is imagination, and that's why a lot of the time when people come to me, I explain to them manifestation work, visualization work, and we will dive into that aspect as well. So that means what we need to understand is the subconscious mind cannot differentiate what is real and what is imagination, and we are going to make use of that. Number two is conduct this with eyes closed to access proprioceptive grid effectively, which you guys have already tried. The moment we close our eyes, we are inside our subconscious mind's proprioceptive grid. Vivid visualization of physical actions during hypnosis convinces the subconscious that the event is real. Let's try this out. Now, once again, close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to think of that joyful memory where you felt really excited, happy, and you were so motivated. Whatever that memory is for you, recall that particular memory. Now, as you recall that particular memory and it's right in front of you on your proprioceptive grid, here is something I want you to do. Physically, with both your hands, I want you to grab this particular image with your hands. Now, as you grab this with your hands, here is something I want you to do. I want you to stretch your hands apart and make it big and observe what happens to the feelings. And you will observe that the feelings intensify. Try something else. How about you bring your hands together and shrink this picture to a size of an atom, so small you can barely hold it, and observe what happens. You're going to observe the feeling fades away. So make it as big as you want to make it. Stretch your hands apart, make it as big as you want to make it, and amplify this feeling. Now, open your eyes. Now, if you observe, what we really did over here was, since our subconscious mind cannot understand the difference between what is reality and what is imagination, when we physically grab it, the subconscious mind accepts it even much better, because now you are getting the actions involved. The moment you get your body involved into the whole visualization process, it becomes even more powerful, because your subconscious mind is now visualizing that particular image in front of you. And as you do the physical action of expanding the image or shrinking the image by bringing your hands closer or stretching your hands apart, you are now becoming more powerful at playing with your subconscious mind. Now, let me give you an example how I got this concept and how this is so effective. Have you seen those witches, those occult practitioners who would close their eyes and do some things with their hand, and they do this weird hand movement while their eyes are closed, they're doing something and you feel like they're doing some magic? What are they actually doing? They are actually playing with their proprioceptive grid, and they are making changes on their proprioceptive grid with their hands. So to the outside world, it looks like something weird, magical, but in reality, they understand what hypnosis is. This is self-hypnosis, and this is how your subconscious mind works. And as I said, these are the hidden laws of subconscious magic. So this is subconscious magic. Let's go a bit further. And the last point that I want you guys to understand is neurological state adjusts based on imagined physical action altering grid information. Exactly what you did right now. As soon as you started moving your hands apart, the feelings intensified. As you bring them closer, the feelings became really weak. So that means any kind of action that you are doing on this proprioceptive grid is altering your subconscious programming. Exactly like Tony Stark, how he would play with these holographic images and the programming was happening right at the same time. Exactly how our subconscious mind works. Even if you see the image I have over here, on this proprioceptive grid, as you are holding on to a particular image and interacting with these images, your subconscious mind cannot tell if it is real or it is imagined, but the changes you are making on this proprioceptive grid are actually taking effect. That's the power of your subconscious mind, and these are the foundations you need to understand about how you can change your reprogramming at a subconscious level. Now let's go a bit further. Now let's understand the aspect of SP. Now there are two types of SP blocks on this grid. Now everything, whatever you feel, your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, whatever is happening inside of you is all on this proprioceptive grid, because your subconscious mind is not only putting one single image on this proprioceptive grid. There might be even 60,000 images at any given point, because your subconscious mind can process all this information simultaneously. So that means there is a lot of information on your proprioceptive grid, which includes your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and even your blockages. Whatever your blockage is with regards to your SP will also be on this proprioceptive grid, and we need to understand what are the two types of blockages so that we can understand how to identify them and how to remove them. You see, neurological studies have shown that emotional blocks stored subconsciously can significantly influence relationships, behaviors, and emotional reactions, with approximately 70% of such deeply rooted blocks originating in early childhood experiences. You see, all your blocks are on your proprioceptive grid and we can access them. Let's understand what are these two kinds of blockages. Recognizing the distinction between temporary emotional states and deeply embedded pattern formed during the development years is critical in effectively addressing and resolving subconscious relationship blocks. So we need to understand, first of all, what is the difference between neurological state block and predominant neurological state blocks. So let's understand what is neurological state block. Now, neurological state blocks are also circumstantial blocks. Let's understand them. Temporary emotional blockages caused by specific transient experiences, example, SP temporarily upset or expressing anger. Now, we need to first of all understand a neurological state doesn't have a big lifespan, such as you might be feeling happy right now and after a while you might be feeling something else. So that is a neurological state. A neurological state doesn't have a big lifespan. But what we need to understand is our neurological state keeps changing. So there can be a block in your neurological state, such as temporary experiences, such as maybe your SP isn't replying to you right now because they're busy. This is a transient experience, which means it's not always like that. It's just temporary. And that is creating a neurological state inside of you. And this particular block is also temporary, because as soon as your reality shift or the situation shift, the neurological state will also shift. So that means neurological level blocks are very temporary and they can be resolved easily. Now let's understand predominant neurological state blocks, which are known as pattern blocks. Deep-rooted blockages form during critical development ages 1 to 9. Now, if you have been watching my training programs, you're going to understand this, that between the ages of 1 to 9, when our subconscious mind is actually developing and learning the ways of this world, that is when our subconscious mind develops familiarity. Now, whatever familiarity we develop between the ages of 1 to 9 will keep playing out in our life. We will keep finding familiar experiences in our adult life that will mimic the experiences of our childhood. And that means that a predominant neurological state is developed between the ages of 1 to 9. So that means if there is a block or if something happened between the ages of 1 to 9, this will become part of our predominant neurological state, and our predominant neurological state is like a default setting. So that means our predominant neurological state is the sort of images that are consistently on our proprioceptive grid. Temporary neurological state will keep coming and going on your proprioceptive grid, but what will remain permanent is predominant neurological state related data and information or images. So we need to understand how does this predominant neurological state level blocks develop. These are triggered by traumatic or significant emotional experiences, especially involving parental figures. Now, I have spoken about this in all my videos that between the ages of 1 to 9, if you had a traumatic relationship with your father or with your mother, that will end up creating a father wound or a mother wound. And the dynamics that you had at home, the environmental dynamic that you really got familiar with, such as unavailability of a parent or an overly critical parent, will also play out in your relationship. Now, whatever happened with regards to your parents between the ages of 1 to 9, those were the first relationship that you actually formed, and that information is on your proprioceptive grid. And since it's on your proprioceptive grid, it's influencing your predominant neurological state. And if it's influencing your predominant neurological state, you're only familiar with these kind of dynamics, so you will keep attracting partners that will feel familiar to this predominant neurological state. Now, these form subconscious patterns of familiarity, establishing baseline neurological states on the grid, which means if there was a father wound or a mother wound, that means your relationship block consists of your parent related wound. It will always be on your proprioceptive grid. It will not move until you have healed. This is also what we call trauma bond, where you get attracted towards partner who play the same traumatic experiences of your childhood. Now, in my experience as a hypnotherapist coaching several different people to break their relationship pattern, I have come across certain findings, such as your emotional connection with your father will influence 5 traits at a predominant neurological state, which is self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, self-respect, and sense of identity. All these masculine traits are tied to your emotional experience with your father. That means if between the ages of 1 to 9, you had a bad relationship with your father, or your father wasn't as available as you wanted them to be available, these 5 traits will be compromised. Either they would be lacking inside your predominant neurological state, which means you always feel that lack of self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, self-respect, and sense of identity in all your relationship, because it becomes a part of your relationship pattern. Or they might even be in excess. That means you overly imposed your self-respect, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your self-confidence, your sense of identity. So that means you are overly imposing of these traits. However, a lot of the people might have this question like, I had a great relationship with my father, so why are these traits in deficit or in excess inside of me? The words that I said was your emotional connection to your father or your mother. That means if there was even one single moment in your childhood, one single moment where you had a bad experience with your father or your mother, that experience will be recorded within that image and will be on your proprioceptive grid. Now, even though the entirety of your childhood was really great, but that one image exists, the very fact that one image exists will play out in your relationship, because we also need to understand negative neurological states have 4 times more intensity than positive neurological state. Now, similarly, in between these ages, if you had a bad relationship with your mother or a bad emotional bond with your mother, a mother also helps the child develop 5 traits that become part of their predominant neurological state. Now, these 5 traits are empathy, expression of love, nurturing, creativity, and spirituality. Now, if you observe, these are the 5 feminine traits. Now, if in case there is a mother wound, these 5 traits would either be in excess inside of you or in deficit, but they would not be balanced. But whatever they are in your predominant neurological state is what you will keep coming across in all your adult life relationships. So the father influence emotions and the mother influence emotions will combine together to form your relationship pattern. And that is the reason a lot of the people keep attracting same kind of partners in different relationships. So the face changes, but the experience doesn't. The same problems persist in every relationship. Each and every partner makes you feel the same way. That is what we call predominant neurological state block. Now, in this training program, I'm going to show you guys how you can remove a neurological state block. But for predominant neurological state block, we need more advanced technique. And for that, I have my 15 days instant healing program where I dive deep into the concepts of instant healing hypnosis, and I teach you the art of instant healing hypnosis to get inside your subconscious mind, remove your father wound and your mother wound in less than 2 to 3 minutes, completely resetting your relationship pattern and making you a magnet for healthy relationship. But I also give you a roadmap where there is a lot of different emotions I list out for you guys to remove the blockages. But I also teach you conversational hypnosis, the art of attracting anyone during any conversation in less than a minute, and you combine these 2 tools together and you become a magnet for healthy, sustainable relationship. Now, the process for that is quite simple. You can sign up for a free mini therapy session with me. I and my team will assess your application, and if we deem you fit to be enrolled into my program, I will allow you to enroll. Or if we feel like you might not be a good fit for my program, we might refuse you. Now, the basic premise is we need to understand how to differentiate between a neurological state level block and a predominant neurological state level block, so that we can understand what kind of block are we dealing with. Now, let's talk about accessing the SP block. Clinical psychology research suggests that emotions and subconscious reactions linked to specific relationship block often have their origin in early development experiences, with up to 80% of emotional conflict traceable back to formative childhood events. That means a lot of the blockages that we deal with in our relationship, 80% of them are a byproduct of your predominant neurological state. Identifying the initial source of the subconscious feeling is crucial for effective therapeutic intervention and long-term emotional resolution. So let's understand how can we do that. So the steps to access the SP blocks are as such. Let's just go through them once and then I will take you through hypnosis. Identify the feeling associated with the SP block consciously. So what are we doing over here? You ask consciously, when was the first time this feeling occurred in my life? That means I want you to identify what are you feeling is the blockage in your current relationship. What kind of feeling is your SP making you feel in the relationship? So as you focus on this feeling, and only once you focus on this feeling, we are telling our subconscious mind, all right, now that's the feeling I'm talking about. And then we ask consciously, when was the first time this feeling occurred in my life? Now, as soon as we ask this particular question, the subconscious mind surfaces the earliest relevant memory on the proprioceptive grid. Now, you might be asking, how come it's that easy? Now, we need to understand something when we are using hypnotherapy, that your subconscious mind is actually incapable of lying. Such as, let me give you an example. I want you to think of the color red. And I know you are thinking of the color red. I'm pretty sure your subconscious mind didn't bring up the color green, blue, or anything else. That is the reason you were able to first of all understand what color am I talking about in the first place. The reason you can identify and understand what I'm talking about is because your subconscious mind gave you the honest answer what the color red looks like. So this is one of the foundational rule of hypnotherapy, that the moment we ask the question, the first answer that your subconscious mind gives you is always the right answer. We are not supposed to doubt that, and you are going to understand that. Number two, if we want to remove any kind of block, we have to go toward the point of origin when it all began. If we can locate the first event when we felt a particular feeling, so that point of origin event is actually the event when we developed familiarity with this particular emotion. And if we can alter that particular moment, we can alter our subconscious programming at the subconscious level. And that is the beauty of that. So what do we do once we ask the question and our subconscious mind gives us a particular memory? Evaluate whether the surface memory is a temporary neurological state block or a deeply embedded predominant neurological state block. And how do we identify that? Based upon the sort of memory that comes into our subconscious mind. If this is a memory from your childhood between the ages of 1 to 9, this is a part of your predominant neurological state block. But if it is a memory of something that happened recently or after the age of 9, then that might be a neurological state level block. So let's identify your SP block. And it's quite simple. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to focus on this feeling that you consistently feel when you are in a relationship that is causing all the trouble. Is it fear of abandonment? Is it that fear of being rejected or not being good enough or not being lovable enough? Whatever is this feeling, I want you to focus on this feeling. Now, as you focus on this feeling, I want you to ask your subconscious mind, when was the first time this feeling occurred in my life? Now focus on the first memory that comes to your mind. Do not change that. Now whatever memory comes to your mind first is always the right memory. Focus on this memory. Now as the image of that particular memory comes up, the video starts playing. I want you to observe, when did this event occur in your life? What's your age in this particular memory? How old are you? What's happening in this particular memory? How did you feel this feeling for the very first time? Observe. And as you observe, now you understand the point of origin for your SP block. Open your eyes and understand this now. You just identified your SP block. Now I want you to evaluate, how old were you in this particular memory? If you were between the ages of 1 to 9, this is a predominant neurological state level block. Now if you were above the age of 9, then this is a neurological state level block. Now whatever that is, let's understand how can we remove this SP block. Research in therapeutic interventions indicates that systematic self-assessment of emotional intensity significantly improved therapeutic outcome, with clients reporting up to 90% greater clarity and effectiveness in treatment process. And that is one of the biggest reasons I have a very high success ratio with my clients, because I'm able to understand how to pinpoint the point of origin for any particular pattern. Utilizing structured methods to quantify and modify subconscious emotional state has proven highly successful in hypnotherapy, empowering individuals to actively reshape their subconscious emotional landscapes. Exactly what I said earlier. This is one of the biggest reasons why I have had a lot of success in helping people break their relationship pattern, because I understand how to get inside your subconscious mind and identify the point of origin. The moment you lay your hand on point of origin, it's game over. Now we just need the techniques to remove this particular point of origin and completely reset our subconscious emotional landscape. That means if we can change our subconscious emotional landscape and we can change the feeling that we feel inside, law of attraction, law of assumption, law of vibration, everything is working in our favor because we always attract what we feel inside, that is subconscious familiarity. And if we can change what we are feeling inside, we can change the outcome. And that's the reason this particular technique works so flawlessly. So now let's understand this. Now first, let me try to explain to you guys how this technique works and then we'll do it together. Now, intensity assessment. Whenever you're trying to begin this particular technique, you need to rate the block's intensity on a scale of 0 to 10, which means 0 means there is no intensity, I cannot feel this particular emotion. 10 means extreme, it is extremely intense. So that means before we can remove any kind of block, we need to rate its intensity. And how do we do that? Remember, your subconscious mind never lies. So we ask our subconscious mind on a scale of 0 to 10, how much is the intensity of this particular feeling? And your subconscious mind will give you a number and we are going to try it out. Now, why do we want to do this? You see, baseline measurement is essential for tracking post-hypnosis effectiveness. We need to be able to measure the effectiveness of hypnosis or how much work we have done. This is going to come in really handy once we are done with the hypnosis. Physical alteration technique. Now, how do we do this? With eyes closed, physically visualize grabbing and altering the block. Exactly what we have learned. We can alter any kind of image by physical action. So we need to get our physical body involved in the process. It's really, really, really important. Utilize knowledge of grid modalities and previously established control methods. So we need to understand the modalities of our proprioceptive grid, and that's how we can remove the block. Now, number 3 is hypnotherapy technique, your time to shine. Now it's my time to shine. All right, guys, now just sit down, relax. We are going to remove your SP block now. So let's put all of the things that we have learned into practice. So just close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now you have already identified your SP block. I want you to bring that image right in front of you. Now, as you have this image right in front of you, I want you to focus on the feeling of this SP block. This first point of origin or memory when you felt this particular feeling in your life. Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, I want you to ask your subconscious mind to rate how intense it is on a scale of 0 to 10. How intense is this feeling? What's the first number that comes to your mind? Now, whatever number comes to your mind first is always the right answer, so do not change that. Now, whatever this number is, we have to take it down to 0. Now, here is the most simplest way of removing this block. I want you to grab this particular memory with both your hands. And as you grab it, I want you to bring your hands closer and closer and closer until this particular image just shrinks down to a size of an atom. So small you can barely hold on to this, but make sure you hold on to this and observe how the feelings just go away. Now, as you hold on to this particular atom, now this image is shrink to a size of an atom. I want you to hold it. Now throw this right above your head, behind you, and observe how the feeling just goes away. Observe how the feeling is gone. And as you observe that the feeling is gone, I want you to open your eyes and observe the feeling. Now, here is something I want you to do. I want you to rate that SP block, that feeling on a scale of 0 to 10. How intense is it right now? And what's the first number that comes to your mind? Now, whatever number comes to your mind first is always the right answer. Now, if it is all the way to 0, hallelujah. But if it isn't all the way to 0, I want you to focus on this feeling and repeat the process. There might be some other image on your proprioceptive grid. So go back to identifying the point of origin for your association with this particular SP block, and there might be some other memory that you also need to remove. And as you remove it, it will once again go down to 0. Now, for those of you for whom it went down to 0, I want you to try something out. I want you to bring back that old shitty feeling once again and observe what happens instead. Try to bring it back and observe what happens instead. I'm going to wait for you guys. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Keep trying. Keep trying and observe what happens instead. And you are going to observe that the feeling just won't come back. And you have successfully removed your SP block. But now I want you to understand something. If your block was something related to predominant neurological state level block, it might come back. Because it is the predominant neurological state block, it is really intense. We need advanced healing technique for that. And for that, I already told you, I have my 15 days instant healing program. But if it was a neurological state level block, it's all gone. It won't come back. And you have already tried it to bring back, but it just won't come back. Because that's the power of your subconscious mind. We threw it back. Because on our proprioceptive grid, anything that is small doesn't have any influence on us. Anything that is behind us has no influence on us. So that means it's gone. And you can use this method to remove any kind of negative emotion again and again, and you will observe how fast it works because it is really powerful. This is the power of your subconscious mind. Now let's talk about the action plan and strategy to attract. Behavior psychology studies have confirmed that consistent reinforcement of positive emotional states significantly increases emotional resilience and relationship satisfaction by up to 75%. Establishing and maintaining deliberate positive neurological state within the subconscious mind transforms one's reality by reinforcing desired emotional outcome, thereby naturally influencing relationship dynamic and personal interaction. Now, what do we mean by that? Let's dive into that. Let's understand. Now you have removed the block, but how can you attract your SP? Now, here is the steps that you need to follow. Prevent subconscious grid from accessing negative SP blockages. Exactly what we did in this training up until now. You have to remove any kind of block or negative neurological state on your proprioceptive grid, and you know the way to do that. Now, the second step is deliberately access feelings of love, affection, and positive neurological states. And how can you do that? Let's just do that. So let me show you how you can do that, because you have already learned the modalities and you know the techniques. So let me just show you how can you feel more good. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want you to first of all rate that feeling of being loved and confident on a scale of 0 to 10. How strong is that emotion of being loved and valued and confident about who you are? Now, whatever number comes to your mind first is always the right answer. How about we amplify this particular feeling and take it all the way to 10? So I want you to ask your subconscious mind, when was the first time you felt this feeling in your life? This feeling of being loved and confident. When was the first time? Now an image or a memory will come right in front of you. And now we have the point of origin. Grab this particular memory with both your hands and stretch your hands apart and observe What happens to the feeling as you expand this particular image by bringing your hands apart, stretching your hands apart and making it bigger and bigger. Make it as big as you want to make it until your subconscious mind takes it all the way to 10. Observe what happens. I want you to expand this image on your proprioceptive grid and take it all the way to 10 when the feeling is the most strongest. Bring it closer to you if that makes the feeling stronger, or take it further from you if that makes the feeling stronger. Whatever that is, make this feeling stronger and stronger. Observe the feeling grow inside your body and keep observing how it keeps growing. Now, when it's all the way to 10, and only when it's all the way to 10, you can finally open your eyes. Hey there, so how do you feel about yourself right now? How lovable and confident are you feeling right now? Now, whatever feeling you are feeling right now, you need to focus on this feeling. And remember, the more you can generate this neurological state and be consistent with it, your subconscious mind will build up familiarity with this neurological state. It will build familiarity with being loved, with being confident. And remember, you attract what you feel inside. That's the law of vibration, law of assumption, law of attraction, law of resonance. So that means if you can consistently feel this by consciously making yourself feel loved and valued, you can attract that into your life. Now, here's a secret. I want you to visualize a moment when you are with your SP and you're feeling all that emotion, and once again close your eyes and expand this picture until this feeling becomes all the way to 10. And that means now you are visualizing. You are telling your subconscious mind, this is the feeling I want, and with this particular person, I want this particular feeling. I just gave you a brief introduction to visualization and manifestation, but let's understand something else. Consistent intentional access strengthens these positive states, building familiarity within the subconscious mind. Exactly what I said. You need to consciously make sure that you are able to have this positive neurological state so that you can build familiarity with this neurological state and you can attract that into your life. Consciously maintaining positive neurological states transforms reality into a reflection of subconscious positivity, naturally attracting the desired SP or your desired relationship into your life. And that is, in summary, law of attraction, law of vibration, law of assumption, and law of resonance. So basically, you have mastered the art of all of these laws and you know the magic of how to make it happen. This is what I want you to understand, guys. This is how powerful your subconscious mind is. I have placed in so much effort to oversimplify a lot of the concepts. This is just a beginner's guide to understanding the power of your subconscious mind. But in itself, this is really, really powerful stuff. The more you practice it, the more your subconscious mind becomes primed to attract whatever you truly desire, and this will completely transform your life. Now, this is the end of the training. I want you guys to understand something. I put in a lot of efforts in these training programs, developing this training program. So I deserve some love, and you can show me some love by subscribing to my channel, liking this video, leaving a lovely comment to share your experience, and the best of them all is to share this video with someone who can make use of this and you can completely transform their life as well. So I really hope that this video helps you guys out, and I hope that you guys had fun understanding how powerful your subconscious mind is. Be playful, have fun with this particular method, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Up until then, stay happy, stay blessed, and understand how powerful you are. Bye-bye.